But you are not a Jedi yet.
What is going on, everybody? It is May 4th, 9 a.m. my time. Prices of Bitcoin currently near $56,000. Today, I'm going to go over with you Bitcoin analysis from a smaller time frame to large, what my thoughts are on altcoins, how our 5K count challenge for our Advantage members is going, and what my other thoughts are for the rest of the market and the bull run that's happening. So by the end of the video, you'll get my thoughts on Bitcoin, where I think Bitcoin is going, what I believe are the best altcoins, and what I'm personally interested and invested in. Obviously, none of this is going to be financial advice, so please do your own research. So let's get started, right? First things first, I do want to let y'all know that whenever I do make these free videos, it would be greatly appreciated if you guys hit the thumbs up on the YouTube videos. So please do so. Just hit the thumbs up, leave us a comment of your thoughts on if you like our videos or not, and I would really like it, okay? So first piece of analysis. We were long yesterday in the Advantage community from about 56.6, so somewhere around here, and we saw this movement up and we were actually expecting some upside towards 60,000, okay? This key marker that we had laid out right here, 60,000, okay? What happened effectively is yesterday morning around my time, the prices started to roll over. And I was hoping that, okay, well, we took out this low right here. I was hoping to get back up and above and start pushing higher, but we didn't actually do that. So right after that sweep that we had right here, we moved our stops from, the break-even point to just around 57,000, right around here. Because if this were to be a sweep, it should have just rocketed up right away. But in case we're wrong, we moved, our entry and stop from 56.6 to 57. So even if we got stopped out, we'd make some profit. But then effectively what would mean is if we're getting stopped out to the downside, it's possible that from here, we're going to nuke much lower. And that's exactly what we did, right? We nuked much, much lower. I even provided an alternate scenario to the Advantage members that, hey, if we're breaking through this area right here, there's some potential shorting opportunities on Bitcoin or ETH. But again, I personally have not been a big fan of shorting because in an aggressive bull market, you just want to follow the trend, okay? And the trend so far has very heavily paid off to the long side, right? If you're buying the dip, if you're willing to place yourself in opportunities in altcoins or Bitcoin to buy the dip, whether it's spot or levered positions, you get paid pretty easily and without much hassle and without much stress, right? Because the bid under the market, meaning the buyers under the market, are pretty strong. The sellers can try to sell for maybe a day, a couple of days, maybe a week, but then eventually the buyers step in, right? And here's what I mean, right? Since basically back here, October, we've had a relentless upward movement, okay? The downside movement barely lasts, 2 or 3 days at a time and then push back up. And then again, a week at a time, then a base is being built and then boom, take off, right? Again, over here, you put in the top, go down for a week, and then you put in a new high. Again, you go down maybe for a week or 10 days. Again, you put in a new high. Okay. So the point is that I have not been a big fan of shorting because I don't believe that it is necessary to short the market when it's in a bullish trend. You can hedge and put on hedges. Like say, for example, if you're heavily long and you want to secure your long positions and you don't want to let them go, and you're saying, okay, well, I have some great entries, but I don't want to see the market keep bleeding down further and further. Well, then in situations like that, yeah, you can still put on hedges, right? You could place a stop above here and you could say, all right, well, maybe we come back towards this, previous base that we had, the previous lows, in which case, if we do get down towards this area, I'll close out my short hedges and add to my long position. There's many different ways to play about it, right? But the one thing, as you guys may have noticed while reading through our gains reviews, is many people employ different strategies. In our community, I've made my analysis and my strategies very transparent and very easy to follow. Okay. No one is supposed to copy trade me, first of all, and I do not provide financial advice. I just show you guys simply what I do. And what I do is, something that I've done for my Vantage members is I created this 5K account challenge. At the beginning of the year, I started an account with $5,000. Here's sort of the video of that. And, there's a timestamp and everything. And so what I did was on live video pretty much every single day. Sometimes it's like every other day, but I show people exactly what trades I'm pulling the trigger on, where I'm placing my stops, where I'm getting into the market, what alts I'm interested in, how I'm analyzing the markets, etc. Right? So the point is, after a while, a couple of months now, you can see December 30th was our start last year. At present moment, the account currently sits right around $18,000 to $17,000. Right? So we've done a tremendous job of growing this account. We've had our ups and downs, but so far, so good. We're very consistent at continuing to grow this account at a 3 to 4x rate. Okay. So this is the kind of information that you get with the Advantage subscription, right? You'll get access to this 5K challenge, but then on top of that, you have all these other channels where, in the Bitcoin analysis section, I provide all kinds of Bitcoin analysis, what's happening in the markets, what I see happening in the markets, where I'm thinking about going long, if I'm moving my stops up, or, where I'm setting my target, etc. And obviously we have a Bitcoin chat channel where I discuss, everything that I'm seeing, and then all the other members from all over the world, they're discussing their thoughts. Okay. If you guys are interested in joining our community, you can go to thealphatrades.com, hit the products page, and join our subscription right there. Back to the analysis. So on the 1 hour time frame, this is a weekly pivot, right? If you've been watching my videos for a while, I utilize pivots quite a bit. Pivots are nothing but easily identifiable support and resistance levels. What this helps us do is when you get a pivot on the chart like this, right? It helps you know that on a weekly chart basis, this is a key support level. Okay, so whenever you go from 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, the hourly timeframes, these pivots are weekly pivots. If you go on the 15-minute timeframes or lower, then they are daily pivots. So they change every single day. When you go on the actual daily time frame, these are monthly pivots. They change every month. All three of these used together will give you a better picture and understanding of how the market is shaping up. Okay. And in my opinion, these pivots are probably the best indicator for anyone who is new to trading, because it just helps you understand the very basics of support and resistance. It's very simple and very clean. Okay. So at present moment on the 15-minute time frame, it is evidently clear that we are below the daily pivot. Whenever you're below the daily pivot and you're heading down further and further, that means generally the market is a little weak. It's probably going to, have a continuation until you start seeing the market sort of break up, maybe get towards the pivot, maybe break above the pivot and start heading higher, right? So that's a daily pivot. Now, the weekly pivot on the hourly time frame, you can see we're very close to tagging that weekly, right? Which is around $54,650. I personally think we're probably going to hit it. But my thought process right now is we're probably going to nuke it a little bit, maybe go down towards 54, maybe all the way down to like 52 or 53. And then we'll see, right? Maybe that'll be enough to get back above this pivot and then start heading back up higher. Okay. I don't think from here we just nuke like to 48 or, below. I don't think so. But again, I'm currently not in any levered trades. The Advantage members and myself, we luckily took some profit on a bunch of trades yesterday. Actually, it's not really luck, right? It's all about methodology and being disciplined in the market. Okay, so I don't think it's luck at all. In the 5K account, as you could see, as of this morning, right, this was the exact screenshot. We had a positive $750 balance from all the trades that we took. We took an AVAX trade, long trade yesterday that yielded us $370. We took a BTC long position trade, which, like I told you earlier, the stop hit. But even in this trade, I think we made maybe $100, $120 or something. And then maybe 2 days ago, we took an ETH long and claimed a good $400 profit, right? So point is, we made some good money. And now we're just kind of being patient and trying to figure out what the heck the market is going to do. Because at present moment, I don't really know. I'm not really sure exactly if the market is just going into a consolidation, because if you look, right, whether it's BNB or ETH, everything really just took off over the last 2-3 days. And whenever you have high volatility days like that, big upside, you kind of want the market to go into a consolidation and calm down. I think the market probably had higher, but I would probably figure that it's a bit more risky to take on levered long trades. Now, being spot, I don't really care, right? I'm not at risk that much in my spot positions because I am not at risk at liquidation, and I'm not taking significant sizes per se beyond my means, beyond my money in spot position, right? Because spot effectively is you buying with the money that you have, unless you buy on margin, which again, I don't really do. So spot position wise, I'm fine. What I'm waiting for in terms of an opportunity, getting back into leverage trades, is I want to see the market, at least from BTC standpoint, I want to see it sell off a little bit more, right? Maybe somewhere down here. And in that area, maybe 52, 53, I would be interested in getting into some longs, okay? Because see this area right here, right? This little block, I call that inefficiency. It's an unfilled gap of open air that price did not conduct business in, okay? So when price has not conducted business in a specific gap, it has a tendency to come back and fill that gap. And when it does come fill that gap, more often than not, those are some of the best opportunity trades. So from a Bitcoin leverage standpoint, like leverage long standpoint, I would be very interested in somewhere around here to get into some levered long positions. From say an ETH standpoint or BNB or any of these other altcoins, right? Depending on where Bitcoin is, I'd be interested in getting long in BNB and probably ETH, okay? At present moment, I hold spot in my 5K account, Matic and Ray. Both have been doing pretty well. I'm expecting more upside out of both of them. Again, I mean, not telling you how to buy. It's, full disclaimer that I am invested in both of them. Okay. So I am expecting more upside out of both of them. However, like I said, because altcoins have gone up so much over the last, couple of days or even a week, right? I'm expecting some calming of volatility. Some maybe, deeper retracement. Now, BNB, I think the most obvious marker to me is probably take out these lows from yesterday. Okay. I figure that BNB gets towards these lows, does, is business something like this. I think it does something like this, nukes, recovers. And if this thing starts recovering 640 again, that's probably a long opportunity right there. And I'd probably be aiming towards like $700 or $800. Okay. That's how I'm looking at potentially getting into long positions. But again, I'm very patient. I'm not going to just, jump in willy-nilly. I always let my Advantage members know exactly how I'm getting into the market. For example, I told y'all we closed the AVAX position, right? So here's how I sort of mentioned AVAX yesterday. I said, hey, I'm taking this AVAX long. Here's my capital size. Here's my entry. Here's my stop. And here's my target. Okay. And then I obviously give a reasoning for the trade. I even post a screenshot of that exact trade. As you could see, And then, of course, I post a chart with my risk reward trade, my target outlook, etc. But then if I decide in the middle of the trade that, hey, the market is changing conditions, I want to get out now. And if I'm in good profit, right, I'll just close the trade. Okay. It doesn't necessarily mean that just because I've marked out that level that we have to get to that level and then we take profit. Okay. So again, none of this is supposed to be copy trading. This is just me showing my transparency, excuse me, my transparency to the world, and just letting people know how I do business in my Advantage membership. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let's talk about Bitcoin analysis. Talk about BNB. Like I said, hoping for the sweep down here around $626 or so right here, and then looking for more upside. Let's check out Ray and USD. Now, Radium, this Ray protocol, very, very important part of the Solana ecosystem, and it is a integral part of the Serum DEX. It transacts a lot of volume because it is what we call an AMM. It is an automated market maker. Radium, the protocol, effectively is in charge of doing the business of the limit order books, of buying and selling and keeping the spreads tight for the Serum DEXs or things like Step Finance, if you guys are familiar with that, right? All the stuff on the Solana ecosystem of how you guys use swaps and provide, liquidity and whatnot. I think Radium is effectively in charge of all that. So I believe it's a very integral protocol for the Solana ecosystem. Okay. So this is why I'm invested in Radium. And from a Radium standpoint, right, and this kind of looks ugly around here. I think people are saying that this is, a huge inverse. Well, here's one inverse head and shoulders pattern that broke down. But then again, now retesting neckline. If this breaks down further, then I'm looking for, just like BNB, these lows to be hit, which is around $14 or so. Guess what else is right below this low? There's a pivot here. See that right there? So it would be fantastic to be able to get a buying opportunity right around this pivot. That's around $13.70. Okay. So again, you can see how I utilize my own knowledge of SR levels and then understanding where the sweeps can come with pivots lined right below and where a good buying opportunity could be. Okay. So I'm still looking forward to Radium going up higher. I think the bigger opportunity for over the next several weeks or months for Radium is, in my opinion, much higher. I'd probably say Radium is valued no less than $30, $40. But again, that's just my way of analyzing the market and my way of seeing the utility and usefulness of Radium. Please do your own research. Okay. Matic is another one, which is a L2 protocol, if you will. I believe Matic is very, very underrated because with all the things that are happening in, the L1 space where there's so many gas fees and, the swaps are expensive, I think Matic helps make that cheaper and faster. Okay. Kind of like Solana too, but with Matic, you already have a lot of partnerships where you can have separate chain developments like the sushi swap can be on the Matic network as well, which makes life a lot easier because if you're transacting through the Matic network as well as say Ethereum, if you're given the choice, well, you're probably going to take the Matic network because it's cheaper, right? Same thing goes, in some cases with Solana. That's one of the reasons why I believe Solana will probably do very well. Now, I don't think that any of these are ETH killers, and I don't really believe in that narrative. There's actually a paper here in our Advantage community. And by the way, if you want to just join our free side of the community, there's a Discord link below. Okay. There's this Money's Flowing into Ethereum, this article that was written by the Arca blog. Make sure y'all check it out because fantastic read, written by Jeff Dorman, a former Morgan Stanley, banker, very smart individual, and he lays out his thesis for the success of Ethereum. All right. And I personally believe Ethereum is going to be wildly successful too. But I don't believe the whole, ETH killer narrative, at least not yet, not anytime soon. They'll definitely grow like Polkadot and Solana and Rune and all these other altcoins that are having their own ecosystem. But I don't think they'll do as well as you may think. Okay, at least not anytime soon, like I said. Anyway, this article is in the official announcements right here in our Advantage community. If you want to join again, the Discord link for our community is below. Okay. So yeah, Matic, again, something else that I'm pretty bullish on. I still think there's more upside left. I personally don't see Matic as a network that should be valued less than $1 at least, maybe $1.50. So that's, at least a 2x from here, right? That's how I'm personally looking at the valuation of, how Matic is useful for the crypto universe, if you will. Then there's many other protocols and altcoins, right? Like, for example, in my DeFi blue chip watch list, I keep an eye on all these, right? Aave, I mentioned to my Advantage members, if y'all see right here, right? I think one of our members had written us a gains review about Aave. I wrote an Aave review on April 19th, okay? And it was at $360. I just saw that Aave is an extremely undervalued project at that particular price, right? So you can see it's right here. So Aave at that point was around 360s. And I stated that, hey, there is no way that Aave is going to stay here that long, right? Especially after building a 2-month sideways base. Now, it could have been wrong, but again, your risk to reward for Aave is something like this, right? So let's do this. Okay, let's go to the daily. So here was sort of the risk reward for you as a trader. All right, so let's go to the 4-hour. So Aave had built, again, like I said, a 2-month base. You are already at these range lows, several weeks ago, right? Around, was it April 19th or something, whenever I posted that. So in this particular instance, right, your stop, if it were down here, okay, after this event, you'd be fine if you took this trade right here and your risk was just around here, okay? So your stop is about maybe 8-10% down, but your upside is almost 40, 50, 60% higher. So sometimes it's not just about recognizing how low a price is, but recognizing that the risk to reward from a particular price, especially sitting at the base of a range low, is very, very lucrative. And that's something that I believe in our community, we recognize very well. And so I put out a ton of analysis like this, whether it's on Aave and BNB and all kinds of stuff, in our community, right? And this is the stuff that's really helpful for our Advantage members. Okay. So the point is, me looking at Aave, I still think Aave is very underrated. I think it's probably going to, in some time in the future, going to be $1,000. Again, non-investment advice. That's just what my research points to, because there is so much happening on the Aave protocol from a fundamental standpoint. I don't see how it's possible that's this low. Same thing with sushi, right? I mean, I'm a very, very big sushi fan. The one reason why is because there is just so much activity on sushi, and the profitability of the sushi model versus Uniswap versus PancakeSwap, in my opinion, sushi is just as good as PancakeSwap, if not better. Okay. And the great thing is on sushi, you actually have big players trading on sushi, meaning bigger funds or bigger whales, utilizing sushi as their go-to platform. And that to me makes sushi even more valuable, because when you have big players on that platform, you have more liquidity available, you have more volume transacted, and effectively it is the go-to exchange for the bigger players in the market. So clearly there's got to be some value there. Okay. So anyway, point is, sushi, in my opinion, if it holds above this red box, right, I think at present moment, I think it's probably going to come back, sweep this X like this, recover. And if it gets above this red box, the trade from here is probably from here, pretty high chances that it gets towards this yellow box around $19 to $20. Okay. So it's basically like a, from 15 and 20, like a good 25, 30% move, right? So I'm pretty bullish on sushi, not only from a fundamentals perspective, but even a technical. But like I said, I'm expecting maybe just a little bit more chop in altcoins, and then hopefully later in the week or next week, they start blasting off. Okay. Because ETH put in a huge, move today, or rather yesterday, right? And the last several days, I think altcoins, the other altcoins are not too far behind, especially good quality altcoins. So like I said, I'm paying attention to the BNBs of the world, the Solanas, the FTTs of the world, Sushi, Aave, Matic, Radium. FTT, in my opinion, is just like BNB. I think they both move pretty well together. And even, FTT right here, if it has another bit of a pullback, I'd be looking to go long on it, right? SRM, again, this is sort of the DEX, protocol for the Solana ecosystem. I think SRM is going to go much higher too, as long as it puts in a nice consolidation around this area. I'm looking for higher highs. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. There's a lot of things I'm bullish on, a lot of things that cross my radar from day-to-day basis. And the great thing is we get to share all this information in our Advantage community. On any given day, we have a conversation about all kinds of stuff like Wi-Fi and BSC and, Matic and what's happening in, I don't know, like the DEX space, or, what's happening with Gravity, the IDOs that are coming up, all kinds of stuff. So if y'all are interested in learning and growing with us, come join our Advantage community. Again, you can go to thealphatrades.com, hit the products page, join our subscription, and come hang with us. All right. That's it, folks. That's all I got for y'all. Take care. Cheers, and catch up with you soon.